Thank you for watching this edition of the program as we show you some of the stories that we've been working on over the past few weeks. I'm John Luck. Well, October 19th is the day residents from Bridgewater will be voting on a very pricey proposition. The Mitchell School project takes a big turn as taxpayers are being asked to pay $46.8 million to help renovate the school that has been closed for nearly 5 years. This will combine with the MSBA's reimbursement, which comes in at just under $34 million, and with the two costs, the projected price of the project is estimated to cost about $80.6 million. Our cameras were able to go inside the school that has been closed since 2015 to get a look at the building that has certainly been the talk of the town.
So we're in the area where the actual collapse took place back in February of 15. Luckily, it was over February vacation, and there were no students or staff within the building. Custodian was doing his rounds, noticed a slight dip in the ceiling, called the building inspector, called fire and police. I came onto site along with, at the time, our director of facilities, Al Baroncelli, and by morning's end, it was a full collapse.
We were hired to come in, as Derek said, just to take a look at the roof structure, because there was concern if there was a collapse in one area that what might lurk in other areas. So we came in, we spent many months, we had a very thorough structural investigation. The way the building is structured is there's a steel frame up to the kind of the top of the windows, and everything above the windows, all the pitched roofs that you see are based on wood trusses. And we were up in the attic for, as I said, months, looked at every single truss, which numbered in the hundreds, and documented a slew of structural deficiencies, either in the manufacturing of the trusses or the installation of the trusses. But when it was all said and done, we determined that it would be millions of dollars. First of all, the entire roof had to be replaced, but it would be millions of dollars to do that, but it would be even more expensive and labor intensive given the working conditions up above the ceilings.
If you aren't going to be in town for the vote on October 19th, you can still obtain an absentee ballot at the town clerk's office. You can see some of the important dates, including the final day to vote by absentee ballot, which is October 18th at noon. To request an absentee ballot getting mailed to you, you can call the town clerk's office at 508-697-0921. And you can see the full presentation from our tour of the Mitchell School on our Facebook page or on our BTV YouTube page as well. And we'll have more on the big vote as we get closer to the date on our Bridgewater Now updates. Aerial sprayings have been taking place across the Bay State this summer, and Bridgewater is no exception, as planes have been flying low spraying the repellent numerous times, causing outdoor events to be canceled. According to the state's website, there have been 10 cases of Triple E recorded, including a man in Plymouth County who contracted the disease back in August, and there were 3 cases that were fatal. Recently, a man in Plymouth County contracted West Nile virus, which is the second case here in Massachusetts. There were a pair of positive tests found in Bridgewater back in July, but there have been more positive tests for Triple E found in surrounding communities, prompting the Massachusetts Department of Public Health to raise the town to a high risk of contracting the mosquito-borne illness. Just outside of the town line in Millborough and Rainham, that risk is at critical. So the wait is on for the first freeze of the season, which here in Bridgewater is expected by the middle of October. Until then, there are tips to help combat the Triple E risk, including wearing mosquito repellent and avoiding outdoor activities between dusk and dawn. For more information, you can visit the website at the bottom of your screen. For the 6th straight year, residents will be running for a great cause in this year's BPD 5K and 1 Mile Fun Run. Proceeds from the event will be supporting Massachusetts Vestadog. The race received a $1,000 donation from Bridgewater Savings Bank, and that's where Jeff Fowler talked with race organizer Rebecca Kaler, Police Chief Chris Del Monte, and from Bridgewater Savings Bank, Nancy Cazella, and President and CEO of the bank, Peter Delarusso.
So we're down here at Bridgewater Savings Bank, a gorgeously redone savings bank. As a matter of fact, we're going to have an open house to talk about in a few minutes, but we're also talking about a big weekend coming up here at the end of September, the weekend of September 28th. It's always traditionally becoming a really fun weekend in the town of Bridgewater. A lot of events coming up, and we're going to have Rebecca and Nancy and Peter and Chief Del Monte kind of talk about all the fun stuff we have going on here on the 28th, beginning first thing in the morning with our 5K.
I'm going to back you up just a second, because on Friday the 27th,
Yes.
we have a pasta dinner and packet pickup at the Senior Center in conjunction with the race. So that will start from 5 to 8 p.m. There's pasta dinner. You can come pick up your packet. If you haven't been able to register, you can certainly come do that in person. Check out all our raffle items and silent auction items. And then on Saturday the 28th, we have, of course, our big event. We have the 5K here through the center of beautiful historic Bridgewater. The kids 1 mile race starts at 8:30. And the 5K starts promptly at 9 a.m. And we will have volunteers there to help take in-person registration and check-in starting at 7 a.m. in the morning.
We just did a donation, and we're very happy to do that. This is our 6th year in donating to this race. We're a $1,000 donation, and you guys do a great job, and looking forward to the race on the 28th and what's going on the 27th. So thank you very much for all the hard work that you do in the community. It's very well done. So thank you, and Chief, thank you too for everything you do in the community. So thank you.
Appreciate it.
So
Briefly, I just want to thank Peter and Nancy for their work in donating to the Bridgewater Police road race. Every year, the Bridgewater Savings Bank is always there for not only the community, but also for us, and we really appreciate that. They've been very, very consistent in that throughout the years. And so both Peter and Nancy, they're familiar faces to you because they're not only people that are here today, but are here all the time, making those kind of commitments to the community. And we in policing, my job is really that of a community caretaker. My job is really to kind of look after the community, if you will, for the best interests of the community. And these are the people that I see when I take that into consideration. These are people that I see that come out for the community all the time. And of course, I don't have to tell you, Rebecca has done a tremendous job with this race. This is the 6th year that we've done it. It's grown every year. It's really become a kind of a staple of the community, probably second, of course, only to Autumn Fest. No, Autumn Fest is something that's been around a long time, is really part of the fabric of the community, and the road race is really supposed to simply highlight and accent the Autumn Fest activities of the day. We try to do that, and it's a good, fun activity and involving the police department, and so we're very fortunate that we get to do that. And of course, Jeff, I know you're the guy that gets to do the interviews all the time, so I'm going to flip the roles for just a second. I'm going to put a little thank you to you, and of course John and your crew who are always there. BTV is something that we take a lot of pride in this community. It's something that is the community. BTV has always been there, good, bad, or indifferent, and a lot of good people that we've gotten to meet through the years that are always working on the best interests of the community. So I want to thank BTV and Jeff for your work that you do all the time. I know it goes kind of unnoticed because you're interviewing everybody else for what they do on behalf of the community, but I'm going to flip it on you just a little bit. And so thank you to you as well. And so with that, thanks everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, if you are unable to take part in this year's race and want to keep up to date or maybe even participate next year, visit the race's website at bpd5k.com. The Rotary Club of the Bridgewaters teamed up with the Rotary Club from Umhlanga from South Africa and received a $40,750 vocational training team global grant from the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International. The purpose of the grant is to strengthen early childhood education in South Africa and focus on professional development for the team and extending and sustaining that by establishing a regional early childhood resource center in South Africa. This will bring early childhood professionals from that region to eastern Massachusetts, and there are funds from Rotary clubs in the Bridgewaters, Brockton, Foxborough, Hanover, Rockland, and other communities who match funds with the Rotary Club from KwaZulu-Natal. When members of the South African delegation come to town, they will engage with researchers, organizations, and program staff who are working in the field of early literacy with a focus on programs that align with the work currently being done in KwaZulu-Natal. Horns were honking in the Spring Street parking lot at BSU where the annual Touch a Truck was being held by Angels in America and Bridgewater Auto Body. Now, this event also served as a purpose to promote the Slow Down, Move Over law. There were numerous tow trucks in the parking lot, as well as first responder vehicles, including Bridgewater's newest ambulance. And judging by all the horns being sounded across the parking lot, it's safe to say everyone there had a great time. Residents, members of Bridgewater's town government, and first responders were at the Bridgewater Senior Center to celebrate the retirement of its longtime director, Lorraine Carrozza. Among those in attendance was Council President Dennis Gallagher and State Representative Angelo D'Amelia, who both awarded Lorraine proclamations.
To Lorraine Carrozza, in recognition for your 24 years?
Yeah.
When you were to the service of the town of Bridgewater. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses a hope of future good fortune and continued success in all your endeavors. Delivered this day, the 23rd day of August 2019. And we certainly all hope that you enjoy your retirement. It's well deserved. And it's signed by the Speaker of the House, Robert A. DeLeo, and myself.
Thank you very much.
The Office of Elder Affairs releases its monthly publication, Top of the Hill. In an August issue, Lorraine wrote a letter of deep gratitude and thanks, in part saying, "You shared in my life's journey throughout the last 24 years here at the Senior Center, and I felt comfortable sharing it with you. I have enjoyed the many great friendships that you have all given me throughout the years and the caring and compassion that I felt with all of you." Lorraine also thanked members of her staff and said people would still see her around town. The town was saddened to learn the passing of a very popular person. Bill Arrighi, who many around town today may know as the man who waved hi to parents and kids that were passing by his lawn on Center Street on their way to school, passed away on September 19th. A&A Metro, which was started by Mr. Arrighi's taxi service in 1952, posted a statement on social media after the passing of its founder. In part, the statement reads that 3 words could define the life of Bill Arrighi. They would be faith, family, and work. Bill was indeed a selfless servant and indispensable member of his community. We are all better people for having known Bill Arrighi and are heartbroken by his passing. He'll be dearly missed. Mr. Arrighi's wife Dot passed away in 2018, and since then he has sat on his lawn in his familiar chair greeting everybody passing by. We showed you this touching story in December that actually grew in popularity on social media and on the Boston News channels as well. Students and parents surprised the man that greeted them every day, and during the holiday season, everybody, including Mr. Arrighi, sang Christmas carols, making that an unforgettable day for a man that's touched lives for well over 60 years. After social media had found out about the passing of Mr. Arrighi, there was a tribute on his lawn he had sat in. A seat with flowers in the spots so many had seen the man waving hello to bring a bright spot to their days. Our thoughts are with the Arrighi family. We'll be right back.
So how was work?
It was 1,300 hours. My math class from 302 was in the trenches. Davy Roth had it the worst. Fractions were coming at him left and right. He just didn't get the damn things. 2 days ago, I tried to teach him what 1/4 of 1/2 was using different sizes of blocks. Yesterday, I tried again by dividing up pizza. Both missions failed.
Oh no.
But today, I was ready. I created a combat math game where the only way to beat the enemy is to out-fraction them. Davy conquered every last denominator. My game was so successful, the principal is deploying it to math squadrons all over the school. Anywho, how was your day?
Oh, today my boss treated the office to salad wraps.
Salad wraps.
I know.
According to recent studies conducted in 2019, 21% of teens were distracted by their cell phones and got into a car accident, and a teen driver with a passenger is twice as likely to be involved in a fatal car accident. It's numbers and stats like these that make the event held at the high school at the start of every school year very important. Brian Berard has more.
Schools are back in session around the region, which means traffic has increased. With the increase in cars and buses on the road, students at the Bridgewater Rainham Regional High School got a lesson in driver safety. Distractology is a program put on by the Arbella Insurance Foundation and has been around for a decade. Arbella uses a state-of-the-art trailer to teach students the dangers of distracted driving.
The phone one, like trying to text her while driving, was basically impossible.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not used to texting with my phone, so it was so much harder to like look down and look up, and then the car just stopped and then I crashed. So.
Students are put through several scenarios testing how well they drive while being distracted by their surroundings, the radio, and most of all, their phone. And if they crashed, the screen simulated a shattered windshield. They were asked to text a friend, then they were asked to change the music, all while driving.
I'd say like everything happens like so quickly because like on the turn when I didn't know that there was other cars coming up, me like trying to press the brakes to stop wasn't fast enough like that I needed to slow.
Yeah, I think I learned that there's a lot more distractions than I thought. Like it's not just your phone or just like food or something. Like you have to look around for the cars and the pedestrians and everything.
Just like always stay cautious and like alert.
Yeah,
Look for signs.
Yeah, anything can change like,
Yeah.
really quickly. It was honestly kind of fun, and it made me like open my eyes and realize that things can change like automatically. It doesn't matter how quick you look at your phone,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be you to cause like the accident.
Car accidents are the leading cause of death amongst teenagers, but this program does provide some hope. It has been shown that students who have gone through this program are 15% less likely to get into a car accident. For Bridgewater Television, I'm Brian Berard.
The first day of school in any grade can be nerve-wracking regardless of the grade. However, the first day of kindergarten for kids can be scary, even for parents. To help ease these concerns, Bridgewater State University's football team, in collaboration with the Road to Kindergarten program, came up with a great way to kick off the school year.
1, 2, 3, kindergarten!
As many students return to the classroom, there are younger kids that are getting set for their first day of school. Students who take part in the Road to Kindergarten program had the opportunity to meet some of their future classmates to help ease the first day jitters and, of course, have some fun along the way.
It's a program put on by the Parent-Teacher Association, and it just gets the kiddos ready for kindergarten. They get to meet some of their classmates, especially the families that have somebody just going through it for the first time. They get familiar with the school, and it's just a great program to get them ready for kindergarten. I think a lot of them are nervous. You see a lot of tears today, but by the end of the day they're having fun, and hopefully they're just ready for next week when they go off on the bus for the first time.
This collaborative effort between the program and the BSU football team dates back years, and after a couple of weeks of long, hot training camp and practices, this serves as a great opportunity for students and coaches to loosen up, have fun, and relive some popular children's games, including Red Light, Green Light.
I already finished, bro. Oh, you got to touch me, boys. Get that green.
I think it's a great thing. We've been doing this for about 10 years now, and our players look forward to this. This is the end of training camp pretty much for us, so it's a nice way to end it and start the season off. These kids have a great time. I've been told by all of the people from the school system that they look forward to this day every year, and we're glad to be able to have the opportunity through the community service and everything is to have them here.
You know, it's good to get a little break. You know, we've been going at it for 10, 11 days straight now, so it's good to, you know, relax a little bit, come out here, have fun with the kids, and just give back to, you know, why we're here, you know.
We would love to hope to have future Bears here, and you know what would be nice if they wanted to come and watch a game or something, we could get them out there again.
The kindergartners took to the field for some football drills, but as much as the day was about doing hurdles, passing the ball, and spiking, the day also served as a special opportunity to once again show the partnership between the university and the community.
It's good to get involved and have, you know, this college get involved with the community a little more, and it's good for these kids, you know, coming in and seeing the campus and seeing all the guys, and they have a great time, and I think that when we, you know, include ourselves and have fun with them, it makes it that much better, so it's all for the kids.
It's not about the age of the students, but the education they receive. That is the goal for Bridgewater State's newest educational venture. The university is set to start its College of Continuing Studies and held an informational session at the library for seniors not just in Bridgewater, but for anyone from around the region. Students that will be taking part in the program heard from their professors, which includes some faculty members returning back to BSU in a teaching capacity.
The institution itself, the university, has been shifting towards being more responsive to adult learners through the creation of our College of Continuing Studies, of which I'm a part. So we've been thinking about and being more responsive to our adult students, what we call post-traditional students, and this is really a capstone to that. So creating a senior college that is geared specifically to senior or older adults in the region, and we're excited. We have people signed up from Bridgewater, but also all the communities around Bridgewater. The faculty that presented here today are nationally recognized, have written multiple books, are on, regularly are on our local media outlets and contributing in, national conversations on the topics that they're well known for.
BSU President Fred Clark spoke to the students taking part in the program and wanted them to feel like they were a true part of the university and offered them some of the tools that are at the disposal of the students taking classes over at BSU.
You're never too old to get an education. You're never too old to teach or to learn.
And I think we see our senior college participants as Bridgewater students. We don't differentiate. So come to the campus, use the library, come to our cultural facilities, art exhibits or performances, be a part of our community. That's really what we want. And hopefully all of our students will get to learn from the wisdom that our senior college participants can convey.
Some may think that the classes aren't going to test its students, but these are classes that are going to be taught by well-known professors returning to the university.
Yeah, we have hundreds of emeriti faculty that have expertise in their field. And I think whether it's politics or whether it's nutrition, I think there's so much you can learn from with our faculty. And, you know, one retired faculty to a group of retired folks, I think is a good mix. And everybody's really excited. I know we're excited to provide the courses that I think seniors will really love.
If you missed signing up for the first session, you can still register for the second set of classes, which runs from October 28th through December 9th. For more information or to sign up, visit bridgew.edu/senior college. I'm sure everyone has seen some of the favorite shows on FX that's aired over the past few years: American Horror Story, Sons of Anarchy, Archer, and much more. The popular network is set to produce a program based on Bridgewater. Noah Hawley will serve as executive producer with the production company's 26 Keys for a series based on the Bridgewater Triangle set to debut on FX. Some newer residents may not know the story of the Bridgewater Triangle, which features obviously this town, but other surrounding communities that had many occurrences of unique stories, including a large black killer dog in Abington in 1976, and ghost hauntings in some of the buildings that are currently housing Bridgewater State students as well as other parts of town. Production is set to take place over the next few years, but has certainly gained some conversation on the Bridgewater social media pages. While turning to health today, men don't like to go to the doctor. That's breaking news. I know you can count me in that. We'd rather do housework, mow lawn, maybe work longer hours at work. But according to physicians, there is an actual diagnosis for this. It's called Dr. Dread, and it's rooted pretty deeply. Over 80% of men take care of themselves to be there for their family and friends, but about 2/3 of them actually admit to waiting as long as possible before seeking medical attention for symptoms or injuries.
Almost half of patients reported that they were taught as children that men didn't complain about their health. Many diseases, if they're caught early, are fairly treatable and fairly straightforward to treat. Prostate cancer, which I take care of, if you catch it early, it's a very curable disease with very low mortality rates.
65% of men try to self-diagnose before going to the doctor. They turn to the internet. However, nothing beats seeing an actual expert face-to-face. Only half of the men surveyed considered an annual checkup part of taking care of themselves, but it's often key to maintaining good health.
When I hear something weird going on in my car, I have no idea what's going on under the hood. I call my mechanic, who I trust, who has years of experience taking care of that, and we're talking about a similar kind of concept with the senior doctor. We recommend that you establish a relationship with a primary care physician even as early as in your 20s. They can identify genetic risks, predispositions to heart disease or cancers, for instance. An initial screening of blood pressure, perhaps your blood lipids, and then just establishing that relationship so that if a problem occurs down the road, you have a primary person you can make contact with.
About 60% of men who aren't already seeing a doctor regularly said they'd be more likely to do so if it was more convenient, so one tip offered is to seek out doctors who offer virtual visits, extended or weekend hours in order to get the care they need. Turning to weather and some potentially scary news in the Arctic. During the middle of September, the ice in the Arctic Sea shrunk to its second lowest level on record. The information comes from the National Snow and Ice Data Center. Sea ice has a pretty significant effect for wildlife, especially walruses and polar bears. According to a NASA scientist, if the Arctic starts to warm up, there could be effects in the jet stream, which actually does have a hand in determining our weather. The sea ice measured 1.6 million square miles during the middle of September, which is 811,000 miles below the average. The lowest level was measured back in 2012, and measurements of the Arctic ice started back in 1979. There is a fear if these lower measurement years continue, the population of polar bears in the Arctic may shrink. And we'll have some happier times coming up here. Nick Sylvia, after the break, has an update on the local sports scene.
Hi, I'm Ice-T. As a veteran, I know that for many former servicemen and women, the battle doesn't always end when they come home. Every day, 184 veterans are diagnosed with post-traumatic stress, and sadly, 20 take their own lives. When nothing else helps, professionally trained service dogs can. American Humane, serving the U.S. military for over 100 years, rescues animals in need of forever homes and trains them to become free, life-saving service dogs for our nation's veterans. If you're a veteran or know a veteran struggling with post-traumatic stress or traumatic brain injury, please go to AmericanHumane.org to learn about their Pups for Patriots program. Let's give our veterans a fighting chance.
Thanks for buying a fishing license.
What the?
I know, but listen. I want you to picture all the great things this simple purchase does. Like building public boat ramps, keeping local waters clean so families can fish and swim, and maintaining a healthy fish population.
What's Mom doing?
It also provides fishing education and activities for the kids, and funds long-term plans to protect our lakes and streams.
Wow.
Wow is right.
Did he?
When you buy a fishing license, you do a lot, because every dollar from a license purchase protects and maintains your local waterways for future generations to enjoy. Learn more at takemefishing.org.
I'm Nick Sylvia here with a sports update. Bridgewater Badgers, Mites lost to Hingham 6-0. Mites lost 28-6. Peavies lost 12-6. The schedule for the Badgers for this upcoming weekend. JV game Midgets home at 9:30, 9:28 versus Hanover at 9:30 a.m. Sunday, Midgets versus Situate, 11:30 home. Peavies versus Situate at 1 p.m. Boys varsity football, we lost to St. John's Prep. That was a 28-0 loss. We beat Doxbury at 14-6. We lost to Xaverian 36-35. We're 1-2 now. The upcoming schedule for the next few games. Saturday, 9:28, New Bedford will be home at 2 p.m. Friday, 10-4 at Marshfield, 7 p.m. away. Friday, 10-11, Dartmouth away at 7 p.m. Then we have a bye week. Friday, 10:25 versus Dennis Yarmouth. Friday, 11-1 playoffs. Friday, 11-9. Friday, 11:15 playoffs to be announced. Thursday, 11:28, that will be Brockton Thanksgiving game at 10 a.m. home. All of us here, BTV, I'm Nick Sylvia. Have a great and happy week, everybody.
All right, thanks, Nick. Let's take a look at some of the upcoming events happening around town. That's all for this edition of the program. In the meantime, don't forget to check out the Bridgewater Now update and weather on any of our social media channels. Thanks for watching. I'm John Luck.